can be either reactive or it can be proactive. Reactive means starting with the present circumstances and plotting a future based on these circumstances. You know, companies and people who do that, they say, this is where we are, this is what's happening, these are our problems, these are our opportunities. Now, based on these circumstances, let us plan a future. That's called reactive planning. The better way, the more dynamic way, the more effective way is proactive. What does that mean? Proactive means starting with the desired future, with your vision of the best, and then setting goals for achieving this vision. It's you sitting back and saying, if I had it my way in my company, what would it look like? Coming up with that vision, then saying, what must I do to get me there? Not encumbered by the excess baggage of what I have today, but motivated and inspired by the possibilities that lie ahead of me. Now you're asking, okay, how do we do that? How do we strategize? What are the steps involved in strategic planning? I'd like to share them with you. There are 7 steps to strategic planning. The first one is this: create a vision. I just said proactive planning is the best, which means deciding that vision. So then the first step is to create that vision. Create a vision. What do you want your company to be like in 10 years from now, regardless of present circumstances? What would you like to be 5 years from now, regardless of today's limitations? Come up with that vision. See it, feel it, enjoy it. Here's the second step in strategic planning. Determine your present circumstances. Because you see, even though you may have that vision, you are still encumbered with what is today. And you have to be keenly aware of that. And here's what I mean by determining your present circumstances. You must determine 4 basic elements that will tell you where you are today. These elements are your strengths. Specifically and accurately determine what your strengths are. Your weaknesses. Carefully but accurately list all the weaknesses that you're facing today. Your opportunities. What are all the opportunities that lie ahead for you and your company and your product? And the threats. What are the threats that keep you from doing the things that you want to do? Or the threats that lie ahead, should you do these things, what are you afraid might happen? Your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and the threats that lie in the marketplace. For example, a competitive threat. If we were to do this, what might our competition do in response? And how might that hurt us? What impact might that have on our business? When you determine those 4, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, you then determine your present circumstances. So create your vision and determine your present circumstances and ask a lot of questions. Ask questions like, what kind of company are we? What products do we offer? Who are our customers? Who are our competitors? What can we do better than these competitors? Ask as many questions as you choose. There could be 100 questions that can come to you through a brainstorming session. Here's the third step for strategic planning. Planning. Determine what will take you to your desired future. Determine what that is. What would take you to your desired future, that vision we talk about? What are those things that will carry you there, will move you there? Ask again a lot of questions. Ask questions like these. What market segments will we be serving? Who will our customers be? What products will we need to offer? What kind of employees do we need? What kind of management talent will we need? What financial resources will we need? What risks must we face? How will we manage these risks? What is the likelihood of success? These are just a few questions that come to my mind. But in your own mind, you may think of 100 more questions. But can you see, by asking questions, you can determine what those things are and what the results might be. And the fourth step, strategic planning, is this. Develop action plans to bridge the gap between your present reality and your vision. Start with your desired future, remember? This is what you really would like to have. Start here and plan backward. Say, this is really what I'd like to be. This is really what we would like our company to become. And by the way, think of this in your own department. It doesn't have to be in your all over your organization. It can be just in the department for which you may be responsible. And say, how might I make my department more effective and more successful? And what strategic plan might I have for our own activities and procedures and plans for the future? You might set long-range, intermediate, short-range goals. You might set action steps, timetable to reach those goals. The point is, decide who will be accountable for each action. If strategic plans fail, they often fail because we don't assign specific activities to specific individuals. So we have this grandiose, this wonderful, this magnificent plan, but we have not assigned specifically who is responsible for every part of this plan. Who will monitor it? Who will do it? Who will report about it? And who will make corrections when corrections really are needed? You must develop measurable criteria for evaluating each step. If a strategic plan is to work, you must ensure that every step is measured, corrected, and the criteria are lived by. The fifth step is to implement the strategic plan. You've done all this work and all this homework. Now, how do you implement it? Put it to work. Assign it to people, assign timetables, but now actually put it to work. Make necessary changes to make it happen. Number 6, evaluate your progress. Take a recess to reassess. Is it doing what I want it to do? Am I achieving the things I thought I'm going to achieve? And if I'm not, adjust. And if I am, celebrate the successes. And the 7th step, strategic planning, is to make those necessary changes to the systems and to the structure to achieve your plan. In developing your strategies, you can be either conventional or you can be inventive. You want to be inventive. Conventional strategies follow well-worn paths. This is the way we've always done it, based on what has worked in the past. But inventive strategies, those creative, innovative, inventive strategies break new ground. They also profit by experience. Past experience, experience of competitors, experience of watching what happens in the marketplace and in the world around us and about us. Strategic planning should encompass every aspect of your business. Some of my clients, for example, broke a strategic plan down into these areas. It doesn't mean you have to break yours in these areas, but this is merely an example. Break them into focus. What are they focused on? What is their focus? Talk about customers. Who are their customers? Satisfaction. How do we get people satisfied with us? People externally, customers. People who supply us, our vendors. People who work with us, our employees. Business focus, which is different than personal focus. Business focus, what markets do we want to be in? What future do we want to prescribe? Employee motivation, how do you ensure that your employees are with you? Are doing the things you want them to do? Motivation has to be renewed every day. People who did very well yesterday may not do very well tomorrow unless you constantly keep them excited and inspired. How about global leadership? One of my clients talks significantly and insensely about leadership in a global sense. How is our world coming together to work, to make good things happen? Market focus, technology, how does technology affect your business today, and what might you have to do 5 years from now, 3 years from now, maybe even 1 year from now, to accept and adapt to all these techno trends about us and around us, and many other things that you can think of in your business. Strategic alliances, financial leverage. There's a whole list of those issues that impact who we are and what we do. In summary, my friends, let me say this. Strategic planning does not have to be academic. It does not have to be complicated. Determine where you want to be at some point in the future. Your vision of what can be. Determine where you are at present, today, with your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and the threats. Spell out that vision. Establish goals which will take you to your vision. Develop action plans to take you to those goals. Set timetables. Establish accountability. And develop systems of measuring progress. And as you succeed, celebrate those victories, the small ones that move you towards this vision. Because the future, your future, is very, very bright indeed.